Hey, what's up, dude?
What's up?
Throwing on some ice.
Yeah, I was just sipping on a bottle of sriracha here. I couldn't figure out the password, and then I realized that it's Colin, so I'm glad I figured that out. Let me see if I can wipe off my blurry. Well, that's fine.
Man. As you can see, there's no production value on my there.
No, it looks great.
No,
Uh,
dang, I thought I just fixed the light a little bit. So I just moved. I'm in a new apartment right now.
nice.
So I haven't had I kind of established. I don't know if you've seen any of the other visual episodes.
I did.
I have two posters behind me. Right now I'm in my office, and all I have so far up is my audition background, which
I like it.
it's kind of wrinkly.
No, it's not bad. So are you in like a single apartment? Or are you in like you have roommates or anything or what?
So I am getting married next week.
Oh, what am I thinking? I know I've seen that. I'm sorry.
I have three roommates, and she doesn't know yet, so it's kind of gonna be like a sitcom thing. I'm gonna try to pitch it to her. But no, I moved into a bigger apartment because we needed more space. And so I'm just here by myself in this big apartment until we get hitched in.
Dude, well, first of all, congrats. That's awesome.
Thank you so much, man. Anyone can get married.
Yeah, that's true.
So,
Not me, though.
But the fact that I'm getting married is kind of a huge feat.
Why do you say that?
But I guess I should introduce you. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, today I have on the very special Colin Cooper from Austin and Colin. And you're the Colin in that, right? Not the Austin?
Yes. Sometimes I get mistaken for Austin, but I do go by Colin in that duo.
So, that makes sense. Yes. And then you also co-own, and then you also founded a Mac and Cheese. Is it Mac and Cheese Entertainment?
Mac and Cheese Media.
Mac and Cheese Media.
Yes.
Yes.
That's correct. Video production, ads, podcast studio, film studio, all sorts of things. We're not sure what we are yet, but it's something. So
hey, man, I know what that's like. As you can see, I know what that's like. I'm still figuring stuff out too.
Yeah.
I'm glad we were able to do this, man.
I know. Life has just been quite the whirlwind, but I've been meaning to do this, and I'm glad we're finally sitting down together. Because it's gonna be like lightning. It's gonna be electric.
Don't say that, man. You never want to give the audience this is gonna be a great show. Maybe be like, we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah. My audience, I think, they kind of get, that I'm. It's hit or miss.
No, dude.
No.
Always a hit.
Always a hit. Yes.
I just wanted to sing my praises on your success, and I think I did a little bit of research on yourself. You've been doing in the past couple of years.
Are you the one blackmailing me?
Yes. By the way, just wanted to clear things up.
Yeah. And only for $50. That was kind of insulting. Yeah, I know. Really, only 50? I could give you at least 75.
No, the one time I bought you McDonald's, you never paid me back, and I just.
Oh shoot.
No, I think it's pretty incredible that you're getting these gigs in these really well-known shows and movies and stuff. And
yeah,
awesome, man. It all for the people watching right now. Sampley was an actor that we hired as a video production company to be in a Christmas commercial for a company called Breakout. It's like an escape game thing, and Sampley was the son of this family that was having a great Christmas, breaking out. And that was just the start of his budding acting career.
Yeah, I actually wanted to talk about that because that's one of the very it might have been one of my first paid jobs.
Nice.
And then it was also one of the most fun times I've had on set too. It's a lot more important than getting paid.
Yeah,
you and Austin ran things just so cleanly. Your crew was awesome, and then the actors I got to work with were a lot of fun.
Yeah,
And
thanks.
I got some good memes out of that video. A lot of my friends watched it, and like, there's
Yeah.
one moment where, because you wanted us to be as big as possible. Yeah, there's one part where like we finally won and the keys coming down, and I'm like, yeah, and like all my friends, would send me that whenever something awesome was happening.
Yeah,
And
that's
that was a lot of fun, man.
How old were you at the time? 17 or 18 or? I'm trying to remember.
I want to say I was still in high school. So
You were still in high school. I think your mom might have taken, or like
no,
somebody.
I actually drove there by myself.
Maybe it wasn't that long ago. I think it was maybe 5 years ago.
I think my dad even let me take his Camaro because I was like, no, you want to impress people. And I was like, I don't think anyone's going to be impressed when I walk out of the car.
No, that's awesome. Unfortunately, I don't remember seeing the car, so that just makes me sad.
It's
Camaro, but that's cool. So I'm just curious, like, living in Huntsville and everything, and I know you were doing a Kickstarter with like trying to start like a series behind this, but like, how have you been connected with this? I'm just assuming that a lot of these things are filmed in Los Angeles, or what? Like, how does that work?
A lot of the things I've shot have been primarily in either Nashville, where you guys are located, which is an awesome place to shoot stuff.
Yeah.
Atlanta, of course, is like just like probably the biggest right now. It's like them and Hollywood are like neck and neck. And then New Orleans a lot of the times too.
Really? Wow.
And then Texas, I think one of the Carolinas, Virginia, just all over the South. Like a lot of things are, sometimes I shot a couple things here in Huntsville and one time in Birmingham. Just a lot of people don't realize like that the South is like finally kind of being like, wait, like arts matter too? Let's look into this instead of just sports.
Yeah, I think a lot of tax things are happening where like I think there's like tax grants for land. If you open up like Nashville, I think got a lot of money to allow people to film stuff here, and it's pretty cool. Just that it's used to be like just LA and Atlanta, and now I think Nashville's kind of getting into the scene. But
and like I'm super blessed that it's like happening at this time, at this stage in my life, and being from Huntsville, there's not many actors here. There are some. There are some for those who are listening, and there are some really good actors here. So it's really cool that like all this timing worked out. And when I got to work with you guys, it was just a lot of fun. And I wanted to ask about you guys, like your relationship with Austin and Colin. I don't know. You might get this all the time, but when I first met you guys, I watched a lot of your stuff. And then, now I keep up with your stuff as well. I follow you guys on Facebook and all the social medias. Do you, in my mind, I kind of like think of you guys of like a Rhett and Link. Like I kind of wanted to ask you like, who were like some of your inspirations, and like, how did you guys like come to where you guys are now?
Yeah, I might as well give you the whole story. Basically, I grew up in Cincinnati, Ohio. 4 hours north of Nashville. And I was just always creating videos and making music and stuff. And Austin also grew up in Cincinnati, and I used to put like my music and my beats, and I still do, which is funny. I put them on Facebook, and for some reason,
they're great.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. And Austin reached out to me on Facebook. I didn't know who he was, and he was like, "Hey, you want to make a song together?" And I was like, sure. So we ended up making some songs and some music videos together up in Cincinnati, like in high school. And that was like the cool thing, was just like putting out these like pretty terrible music videos. But like at the time, like people were like, whoa, like that's cool.
Were you guys like making like kind of like the stuff you guys do now, where it's kind of like Weird Al / kind of Long Island-esque?
Kind of like funny music videos. I used to have in my basement, I used to have like green poster board, like taped up on my wall, and we would just make these. They don't exist on the internet anymore because people might use them as blackmail for my future embarrassment at my wedding or something in a couple decades from now. But it's basically we started kind of a band, and we like had good bit of success in Cincinnati, and we got to play on the news, and we had like all these, on the radio. It was like we made it big time or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, being on the local news was like, yeah, we made it.
We've made it.
so like at 18, that was like, man, that I was peaking at that point. But then, and maybe that was the peak of my life so far. But
I would agree.
No, I mean, man, performing in concerts was pretty fun. We had a couple shows with like 400, 500 people. It was, and in retrospect, the music, I'm not going to dog on it, but it could have been better. But anyway.
Yeah, of course. I think that's like a sign of a good artist, where you look back, you're like, that's not as good. Because if you would look back and you're like, man, I was a genius even then. It's kind of like,
exactly. No. If you look back on things like that and you cringe a little bit, I think that means that you're growing. But
yes.
So anyway, we ended up going to college in Nashville. I went to Belmont. Austin went to Lipscomb, right down the street. We both kind of did our own degrees, but then at the end of the day, we were like, dude, we got to do something together. Like I think we just had some sort of dream that we had to like. We just couldn't get normal jobs because I was going to be doing like data analysis.
Wow, yeah.
Like I was just like, it was going to be like a cushy job, but I was like, deep down when it came time to graduate and end all the partying, I was like, man, it's not going to be fun. And then Austin was going to do physical education, which I think he would have enjoyed, but deep down he also was like, man, we have talents and things that we need to take advantage of. And so we started a video production company called That's Classic Media. And we started making wedding videos, and man, we were living in bunk beds. This is our like rags to riches story, whatever. We were paying like $300 a month, living in this like 10 by 10 room on bunk beds. It was terrible.
Wow.
For probably 2 years, like filming weddings, just trying to get off the ground.
I can't imagine. So just one room, bunk beds, like.
Yeah, I mean,
if you get, not that I'm insinuating that you guys have gotten into arguments, but like, where do you go if like you get an argument? You're just like, I'm going.
No, I know. I mean,
like, can I go though?
Yeah, we lived in a house with like 3 or 4 other roommates, so we had at least had a bit of an escape. But
Gotcha.
Luckily, we do get along well. But basically, he went off. He got married, and then but we kept the company together, and then kind of had a big, we hadn't put out a lot of content on our end as far as like our personality goes. So you're like, we've made these music videos in the past. We made funny videos. Like maybe we should make sorry, I'm not good at telling the story, but basically we made a song in Cincinnati that was kind of like a welcome to Nashville. Have you seen that video?
Yes, I have. Yeah, it's great. It's probably one of my favorite ones from you guys.
Thanks. So that was kind of our big break or whatever. But we made something like that in Cincinnati where we told jokes about Cincinnati in a song music video format. And we're like, why don't we just try it in Nashville? So we spent like 4 or 5 days, made a rap song, kind of digging on Nashville, but also like why we love it. So it's kind of like a love-hate, funny parody video about the downsides and the upsides of Nashville. I was afraid to put it out there because I was like, what if people just like rail us for this?
Yeah.
But it did super well. It got, I think now cumulatively like 5 or 6 million across all the platforms.
Yeah, that's amazing. No bricks through your window?
No, unfortunately not. But a few comments that were a little racy, but no, it did really well and kind of opened a lot of doors for us. And was just really good promotion for us to get our media company out into the world. And then we traveled with Jake Owen, country artist for.
Wait, I sorry to interrupt, but I know him because he was in a movie I did. I never met him.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
With what is this? Affleck, Casey.
Yeah, Casey Affleck. Yeah, that one. Because I had never heard of Jake Owen before. Because I'm really bad about like current music. That's on me. It's not that I don't like it.
No.
Like I'm still catching up from like, I listen to like sea shanties.
Sea shanties are awesome.
No, but that's
hilarious.
so you traveled with Jake Owen.
Yeah, that was kind of like our next segment in life, is like we moved on from weddings, and then we kind of moved into the country music scene, traveled with Jake Owen and went on tour with him and just filmed him and made content for him, made some music videos collabing together, which was pretty cool. And then filmed an official music video for him. Cut our ways. He kind of went his own way. And we're still in touch, but that phase kind of moved out.
Yeah, of course.
And then eventually ended up partnering with a guy named Sean, who ended up being our third partner in Mac and Cheese Media. He had his own marketing company, and so he kind of merged with Mac and Cheese Media, Sean Webster, and we kind of formed this Mac and Cheese Media. It's a long story. But now, final update. We've got a studio here in East Nashville.
Awesome.
The podcast studio, 2 floors, like 4 or 5 offices. And
oh my gosh.
We're just making ads and making podcasts and still just trying to crank out content. And every day is an adventure. So that's the story as short as possible, I guess.
No. Dude, yeah, that's like it's been really awesome to like watch you guys like just continue to go on Facebook, because I don't know if you ever like have followed like an artist or like a team, like a duo, like you guys, and like you follow them and then they just kind of like drop off the face of it. And you're just like, where did these guys go? And, like you just can never, all their stuff is one day deleted. Like it's awesome to watch your guys' stuff. I wanted to ask, going back when you said there were some racy comments, do you do you read the comments, or do you try to stay away from that stuff?
No, well, this is a great topic. And I like talking about it because, I think a lot of people that are creators, that get big, I'm not going to consider ourselves like superstars by any means, but like a lot of times people speak on platforms like Facebook or Instagram, thinking that people like Austin and I, or whoever it is in the world, TikTok, famous TikTokers, famous YouTubers, whatever.
Yeah.
I think people who write comments don't understand that, people like us do read a lot of the comments. And we did a comedy show where we stood up there and played sad music and read some of these comments because.
Oh, that's great.
Another aside, we did a comedy show at Zany's here in Nashville, and one of our segments of our variety show was reading off some of the meanest comments we've ever gotten. But we had a pretty good track record for the stuff that we made in Nashville, and then we did come out with like a Predators hype video that just like exploded. It got like 2 million or 3 million views in like a day. Like it was crazy. And the comments were very divided because, a lot of people loved it. And there was a lot of people that really, really hated it.
Yes.
And this is kind of like we had such a good track record with making videos to where like I had never experienced like just utter hatred before, where like, but to this point, it was like, we got this video that's got millions of views, but I was reading comments that were like, if I ever see you out in public, I will push you off a bridge. I hope that somebody like sets your house on fire. If I ever see you in public, I'll punch you in the face. And then somebody wrote like a very long paragraph about how they hated it so much that they wanted to go to a Staples, get a pack of Ticonderoga number 2s and shove them in his ears rather than watch more of our videos. And so anyway, this is a learning experience for us, which was like how to deal with this hatred, understanding that a lot of people are more outspoken when they feel a lot of anger like that.
Yes.
There's a lot of keyboard warriors out there, and you're just always going to get hate when you start getting attention with it.
I just like now remembered this as we're talking about it. This is like usually I have like a note card. I'm like, oh, things I want to like bring up that I remember. And
Yeah.
this just hit me, and that's why I was laughing so hard. And I think you'll find this funny. It was like maybe a couple months after I'd worked with you in Austin. One of my friends on Facebook, just like on their wall said, if I ever see another Austin and Colin video again, like I'm gonna like jump off like a bridge. And I was just like, but why? But why? They're such wholesome guys. Like, they're not making like hateful content or anything. It's like have a sense of humor. I unfriended him on the spot.
Oh yes, I was gonna say if you're still friends, then this
after liking and sharing it though.
Oh no.
No.
All right, well, yeah, no, that's hilarious. No, I mean, it's truly like baffling, and it's one of those things that I had to like come to terms with, and it was a tough period of life where I was like, man, like this, and even like in public, I had somebody like come up to me and was just like, screw you guys. Like, it was just like, and it's weird because like a lot of our stuff is Nashville based. So like, so a lot of this stuff is like the people who are saying these things are like, they're they're the people like right down the street or next door or whatever. And so I don't know if it's Nashville or just that people are like a little more, since we're a music city, like people are a lot more critical here or something, but like,
okay. I think sometimes it's just the joke goes over people's heads.
We just like to be super positive, and I think for the longest time, like, I mean, this truly was like months of me like learning how to get through this depression.
Wow.
Like, this is so like, this is like brutal, but I think it was like learning just how to like just accept it and realize that like that's not how everybody thinks. I just, a lot of people are more outspoken when they like truly just really hate something for whatever reason. But it was like it's also extremely hard because if you respond, it also kind of makes you see a little bit weaker because you just can't win that battle. It's you like to compare it to you're walking down the street and somebody's just like and just stabs you and then runs away and you can't do anything about it. Like, because I used to respond to things and it's like, you just got to let that stuff
How
go.
would you respond? Would you respond in like a witty way, or would you would you actually get upset?
No, my ultimate response is just, hey, thanks, man. Like, hey, I hope you die in a fire. It's like, thanks, man. Hope you have a great day. You gotta kill them with kindness. That's, if you're gonna respond in a way that makes them know that, hey, I heard what you said, and two, love you, brother. Hope you have a great day.
And sometimes I don't know if you've ever worked retail, but if you work retail, like people treat you like garbage. And if you do that, one of two things will happen. One, they'll just keep going. And then, or if you're just like so nice, like you slowly see them realize that they're like like a terrible person in this moment. It's like, oh, I'm
exactly. No, I mean, retail, you can't go, they can't say like, I'm returning this because it was broken. You can't go like, well, sorry, I'm not gonna, I mean, you have to, the customer is right. I get, whatever, but it's hard to accept that sometimes. But I think after dealing with that for a couple of years, but I will say on a final note, I don't really read comments because it still does. Because there are a lot of good comments, but the negative ones, they still sting. And for somebody like me, maybe not, Austin, it doesn't faze him. It doesn't, it doesn't affect it. Somebody like me, who's just a little more sensitive to this, I just don't read comments anymore. That's just the way it is.
Understandable. The very first comment, because originally I started, and I still upload these videos to Anchor, which is just like the audio version, and then that spreads it out to like Spotify and stuff like that. It's actually a really cool app. But cool. And then I started uploading them on YouTube, which I'm doing right now. And the very first comment I ever got on a YouTube video was my one where I talked to Hunter Doohan about Your Honor, and the first comment on it was my left ear was the only one that heard anything. And I was like, oh, I messed up the audio.
Oh man, that's
and I liked it, and I was just like, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah.
And then like the next video I did, I forgot to do it again. And then but I finally fixed it.
What about now? Is it coming out of both speakers?
This podcast has actually helped me learn a lot about editing, because it's something I've always wanted to like learn a lot about. Because like I've made some videos and just like edited them on like Windows Movie Maker.
Yeah, that's what I started out with when I was like,
you gotta, it's either that or iMovie. And then but thankfully I've learned a lot. But anyways, going back to you guys, has there ever been a video idea where you guys think of it and you're like, oh my gosh, this is genius, this is gonna blow up, and then it doesn't? And then also vice versa, where you're like, there's a video that you put out that you think you did a good job on, and then it just like explodes. Has that ever happened?
Oh yeah, I mean that's every time. I mean, I swear, every time we make a video, we're like, man, this one could blow up, and most of the time it's pretty average. The ones that do get big are like the least ones you expect. I mean, I think we try not to put anything out that we're not like, this has the potential to get big, but and it's just like, unfortunately, having a majority audience on like Facebook, and just any audience in general, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, like so much of it is out of your control. And and unfortunately, like we actually have to put quite a bit of money behind like sponsored stuff just to get it out to our audience. Because we have 25,000 followers on Facebook, but if we put a video out without any ad spend or anything, like it might not reach like 1,000 views. I mean, it's just crazy.
Dude, yeah, like
it's so messed up. I mean, Facebook, you got to pay to play if you want to get any views on anything.
Like even when I just like share something on my regular account about like something,
exactly.
Like it just like maybe like 50 to 100 people will see it out of like the 1,000 people I have friends with. And it's just like, well, what? And then or I teach at this acting studio, and we have like 300 followers on there or whatever.
Yeah.
And like it will say underneath in the blue, only 25 people reached, and it's like, but why? And then I'll have to go and message people about certain classes we have, and they're like, yeah, where do I sign up? And it's like, I wish I didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
They're like, I didn't see the post. It's just like, why is it?
No, I mean, there's so much ad money that's in Facebook now that like, I don't know. We're truly trying to find a way to like just break into a different area. That it just seems like Facebook is and Instagram, it's so tough to get your stuff out there anymore.
Yeah.
I used to put stuff out and get 100 likes, whatever. Now it's like, be lucky to get 10 to 15 on a personal post. But it's like, man, come on.
It's not. And you're like, man, do people just not like me anymore? It's just like, no, they're just not seeing it.
No, I mean, you're just talking about this recently. Like, it's really, it's kind of a poisonous thing that Facebook does to your mindset when you go like,
yeah.
And I've just been trying to get off of like social media more, because I put stuff out there that I think is really great, and then like when you don't get any likes or comments or whatever, or any engagement, you go like, you start to second guess your own creativity and your abilities and things, and like it really, I mean, it messes with your head for sure. And I think we're, me personally and as a duo, we're just trying to find new ways to connect with people on a more like maybe organic level or whatever. I mean,
like door to door. That's what I've started doing.
It's tough now. What did you say?
I said door to door is how you do it, man. Oh, let's just go out like old fashioned 1950s businessman and just start it.
I know, yeah. Give them a DVD and be like, watch this. Let me know what you think. And
DVDs. VCR, buddy. Come on, we're going all the way back.
Or we'll do like a puppet show or something in the living room.
I was gonna ask you. You mentioned TikTok earlier. Are you guys on that?
Are we on it?
Uh-huh.
Yes, I believe we are. I gotta say, I'm maybe I'm getting old, but it's tough for me to do TikTok, to be honest. I don't know.
I'm with you, man.
I feel like I'm trying to like resist it, and but like it just seems like that's kind of the way the world's going.
I've been thinking about that a lot these past couple months, just like how um if I were to be able to live like in a different decade, I just so as an actor, I would so badly want to be in the one where phones didn't exist, because it's like you can't just like audition for a part and get it now. It's like it's like, well, how many followers do you have on Instagram, Facebook, and
Yeah,
Twitter? Or why aren't you on TikTok? Why aren't you like doing
yeah.
something every day? And I'm just like, why does it have to be that way?
So that's really interesting, actually. So, and I think I was going to ask you about this. Is that kind of, I mean, is that playing into like, I'm fascinated by the film industry. I would personally love to get into like the acting stuff, and it's just,
Yeah.
but anyway, how much does that play like your poll is like are these film executives going like, or TV or whatever, are they going like, if we get somebody with 1 million followers on Instagram, like this is going to bring in that audience, and is that like really important to what they're trying to do? And
I think, and this is just my personal opinion, because like there's really no uh I mean, everyone just has their own personal opinion about it. Some people like, well, I'm not gonna blame my followers if I don't book an audition. It's just like, well, it just wasn't for me. Because I know some actors who do that. They're like, well, if I had this many, I would have gotten it. It's like, well, no, you just weren't right for that part, and that's okay.
yeah,
But I do think when it comes to like maybe a Disney part or a big Netflix show, or like a Marvel movie or something like that, I think I think if they're looking at someone with 500 Instagram followers compared to someone who has 2 million,
yeah,
like they're like, well, we can get those million people because that's in a different demographic. And in a way, it's honestly genius. It's actually one of the things I think Christopher Nolan does extremely well with his casting. Like, I don't know if you remember, have you seen Dunkirk?
yes.
You know, Harry Styles is in that movie.
Oh yeah, I know it.
And
And
when
that was a big, like, people were like, "Whoa, Harry Styles in this?" Like, and that brings that whole like One Direction demographic to go see a
yes,
horror movie. You know,
exactly, because
that's really interesting. Yeah,
those people are not going to go see that movie. All
yeah,
those 14 to 18
yeah,
teenagers went to go see a movie they would have never ever seen because of one person, and he had a very small role in the film. It was
yeah.
very smart. And
That's really interesting because he was almost like, it's like Harry Styles and Dunkirk, but like he was a very, I mean, a decently minor character in the whole thing.
yeah,
But
he did a great job.
it intrigued me a little bit more, just because like that's fascinating to see like a boy band singer like in a Christopher Nolan movie. But no, that is genius. I like that. I also think there's just the aspect of like, uh, I don't know. I feel like there's also a lot of directors that don't like care at all about like that kind of thing, that are one of my favorite directors, like David Fincher. Uh, I just like went down like every one of his movies and just his directing style and stuff. And I think, and maybe I'm wrong about this, but I just feel like he's so much more focused on like your acting skills, your ability to do stuff, and like, even though he hires mostly like big names and everything, but I don't know. I
What's so
feel
funny
like
about that is I legit made it a goal, I think like last month, to watch, like, because I hadn't seen certain David, like I'm a huge fan of David Fincher, loved Mindhunter,
yeah, I haven't.
Seven, and then I was like, I haven't seen Gone Girl. I think it was when Mank came out. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna sit down and like watch every single
Yeah,
Fincher movie, and all I had was I did Mank, Gone Girl, and then I think
Social Network maybe.
no, I'd already seen that. That's like one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was the Curious Case of Benjamin Button. That one.
Oh, that was him. I forgot about that. Yeah.
I think everyone does. As I just
Yeah.
forgot about it. I mean, it's a good movie, but you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that movie exists.
No, I think I fell in love with like his directing after. I mean, Gone Girl is just one of those movies where you're just like this. It's like nothing makes like it makes my skin crawl thinking about
Dude,
that movie.
yes.
I'm getting like goosebumps like just thinking about how the twists and like like that to me is one of the most perfect movies I've seen in the past like couple of years. I mean, that was just like
Yeah, I watched it
so
for the
good.
first time a month or two ago. And one, Rosamund Pike, I thought she should have won that year for best
Was she
actress.
the
Like,
she was the Gone Girl? What was her name?
yes,
Yeah, no, she was like,
she dude is terrifying.
yeah, you're like, you're a psycho.
Because like the thing is, she plays like normal so well, and then just like that, you can see it in her eyes, just like
Yeah,
oh, something's wrong with her.
her eyes, she's got that crazy in her eyes. I mean,
And there's some weird casting choices in that movie, though. You have Tyler Perry playing.
yeah, Neil Patrick Harris being like this weird billionaire. That was like the creepiest thing ever. Like it was just nonstop.
It's like weird casting, but it works.
Yeah,
in such like a unique way that only a few directors can do.
Yeah.
While we're on the topic of film, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
I think yes, a couple months, maybe even a year. Who knows at this point? Time is ever since COVID. Time just does not exist in my brain anymore.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just a mush up here. You posted, I think, a picture on Instagram, or it was a story or something of you wearing the Drive jacket, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And like legit, my fiance had just gotten that for me for my birthday.
Man. No, so I think I posted on Instagram also. I said like, should I get this jacket?
Oh yeah, that's right.
It was like, yes, I'm gonna have to wait till it gets cold again, but I never bought it. But do you have it with you?
Dude, if you, I'll be right back.
Just grab it. I don't care. I gotta see it.
Like I would never wear it out. I don't have the confidence.
Come on, man. You gotta rock that.
I'm gonna definitely like wear it for like a Halloween party. You know, what I mean? That's like the perfect time. But man, like that's
man, that's sick.
Look at that. Look at that. I still get the tags on.
Oh, dude, you gotta wear that to like a premiere. That would be like,
dude, that would be, and just not say anything to anyone the entire time. People
are like, wow, yeah, I know.
I want to put him in my movie. He's mysterious.
Yeah. No, dude, that looks dope. I would try to rock it. I'm not gonna lie. That looks. I don't know if I could pull it off, but I'm gonna try.
Dude, let's just do it together.
Yeah, I'm down.
We'll make a song about it. Austin can write it.
Yeah, Scorpion Bros.
Yes, but on the topic of Drive, that's one I have to like. There's like certain tiers I have for like films, like Lord of the Rings. I have to watch all those like once a year. The majority of Nolan movies have to watch once a year. Yep. There's some every other year, but Drive is like one I have to watch like 2 times a year.
Yeah, dude. Man, that movie is really. I don't know. There's something so intriguing about it because like, I once again, Ryan Gosling has so little dialogue, and there's honestly like the whole movie. There's really not that much dialogue. I don't know. It's one of those movies where it's kind of a slow burn, and then they just like ramp it up so quick.
Yes.
And it just gets brutally violent. And no, I think it kind of like sparked this like neon like 80s revival or something like.
Yes, yeah.
Cool retro like LA in the 80s or something. Even though it's not, I don't think it's. There's something cool about that like ode to the. Especially the music in that is incredible. The Drive soundtrack is one of the best I feel like I've heard in a long time.
Dude, when it's nighttime and you get the windows rolled down and you're blasting that, like, you're just like, I am the driver.
Yeah, exactly.
No. And then you catch a little bit of yourself in the mirror and you're like, all right, turn that away so I don't lose it.
Exactly. No, that's a great movie. Man.
It's one of my favorite ones, and it actually opened me up to like the Ryan Gosling's filmography.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my favorite actors. I think he's most often remembered as the Notebook guy.
Jack in the is that his name? Jack in the Notebook? I think.
I'm
not gonna lie. I've seen that movie like 6 times. I think
I've seen it 3 times. In all honesty, I think it's a pretty good movie.
Oh man, I cried a little bit. That it's such a heartbreaking movie. I mean, it's I remember the stigma was like, you saw the Notebook or whatever. But then I watched it by myself at like, at like a little too late at night. And I was just like, man, about to start crying up in here. Like it was just, it's
the only problems I have with that movie is that James Marsden, gets screwed. Like he's such a great guy.
Oh, well, that's the thing. There's no motive for him. There's no reason why he shouldn't get the girl.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the day, he's just like, well, if that's what you want, darling, like then go ahead. And you're like, what? You were like you were engaged to this girl, and then she goes off and cheats on you, and then you're just kind of like you didn't just want to destroy Ryan Gosling after that.
Yeah, I know. And they could have done something with that where they had some confrontation. But maybe that was like in their own way their plot twist, their M. Night Shyamalan.
I guess so. Yeah.
And also one of my favorite scenes in the movie, like ironically, is whenever Rachel McAdams, I can't remember her character's name, but her mom like drives her to like this construction work site.
Oh yeah.
And she's like,
"There's Bills. I had, I was in love with him or what." Like it was just like,
this is. I feel like, Mom, this is so weird. Don't like. If you've had this secret for so long, this is something you die with.
Yeah, it's like, all right, let's not talk about, Bob the Builder that you cheated on Dad with. I mean,
yeah. But other than that, I think it has Ryan Gosling's really good in it, as is Rachel McAdams, as is Sam Shepard. He's in that film. He plays Ryan Gosling's dad. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
He passed away recently.
Yeah, back in
I think 2 years ago.
Something like that.
Maybe it's been a while, but he was great.
Yeah.
I gotta. Have you seen? I just recommended this movie on the theme of film. Have you seen Sound of Metal by chance?
Dude, I so badly wanted that to sweep the Oscars. It was my favorite film of last year.
I would agree with that. Man, that movie. It weirdly spoke to me on like a different level, just for a lot of reasons. But I'm a drummer myself, and I've dealt with like hearing loss to an extent.
Yeah, I bet.
And I loved music so much, and I was just like that. Nothing made me feel so scared and uncomfortable as like losing my hearing. And that movie just like was so good at. So good at like creating this terrifying like feeling of losing your hearing. I mean, it's crazy,
dude. And
it was so good though.
Riz Ahmed, like I've been such a big fan of him ever since he was like in Nightcrawler and The Night Before. He had a small part in like I think Rogue One. Like getting to watch this guy like continually like get these parts, and then he gets like such a well-written like part, and he just like knocks it out of the park. I think one of my favorite scenes of last year was when he's asking Paul, I think you say his name, Paul Ricci, his like teacher at
his
rehabilitation. Yeah, where he's asking him for the money for the surgery.
Yeah.
And like they're doing it in sign language, and they're also like, man, that.
Oh yeah, and teaching the deaf kids and everything. It was like that's super cool. But yeah, no, I mean that movie was.
Man, it's
you know what I like to do is I like to give a rating in my head and see how closely it matches up with IMDb. And I gotta say, I've been pretty close to what a lot of these IMDb. I'm trying to get better at reviewing movies for what they are, stuff like that. But
I flip flop on like caring about reviews. Sometimes I'm like, man, I'm only gonna go see this movie if it has this. And then at the same time, I'm like, well, if I'm interested in seeing it, why don't I just go see it? And then at the same time, I'm like, but then again, it's like $40 to go see a movie at a movie theater.
That's my point exactly. And time is a commodity, and it's sometimes it's like I don't know if I want to commit an hour and a half to a movie that's not great, but I think I'm trying to. I'm definitely in this place right now where I'm like. I look up every movie before I watch it, and I like read the reviews.
Yes,
Which like you said is not like always. If I'm interested in seeing it, then sometimes it's not. I've seen a lot of movies that are like really high rated that I'm just like that was not.
Yeah,
that was not enjoyable to me. I mean, that's just.
I talked to someone recently about that. I like actually it's right here. I like to keep like little journals and I like to like really just write like short little segments. Like I'll just flash. Oh, this one's on Gone Girl actually. Like just short little like thing,
Nice.
like breakdown of what I thought about the movie, what I thought about what worked, what didn't. And the reason I do that is not to go up and like share it with anybody or have someone sit down and read this, but like I think one of the reasons like movies are like my favorite art form is because I could, let's say, for example, like I loved Gone Girl the first time I watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have that written down, my thoughts and stuff. Next year, I'll probably watch it, and I wonder what I'm gonna write then. Like I also put like a little rating in there. Like I gave it like a 9.5 out of 10. Next year I could watch it. I could give it a 9.8, and and not because like I think I remembered what I gave it last time, but I like to go back and look. Oh, that's what I liked about the film that time, but now I didn't like it.
Yeah,
or vice versa.
I think the more times you watch movies, the more layers you kind of peel back, and like
yes,
every time I watch a movie, it's like you kind of take it in, and and then the more I watch it, the more I pay attention to like the subtleties and the cinematography.
yeah.
It's almost like when you're not as focused on keeping up with the story, you can focus on like characters and motives and just like this. I love watching movies just like for diagnosing the cinematography and like the motive behind why something is shot the way it is.
Yeah.
And I'm like starting to understand that a lot a lot of these cinematographers do things for like a very specific reason, like on the most basic level, like a shaky handheld camera is like makes you a little nervous, or like a camera that's real close and up in your face kind of makes you feel claustrophobic, or like it's just there's so many techniques that camera guys do to make you like feel differently. And
it's I think it's an underrated position in the film crew, the director of photography. Not only the director of photography, but like all the lighters and like the focus puller, like that stuff is like really hard stuff to nail. And like a lot of the actors I've worked with, when we're doing a take 30 on something, a lot of actors are not all actors, but a lot of actors are needy.
You say needy,
or they think everything about them, and I thought the same thing, so that's why I can say it. So when they think they're on take 30, they're like, oh my goodness, like they don't like me, it's my fault, when they're not telling me, and everyone's embarrassed and everyone's looking at me. It's like, no, they're just trying to get the shot right, because this is right there, they want to get the perfect composition in this shot, and the camera's moving. It's such an underrated position on the film crew.
Yeah, so back to David Fincher, and I would recommend this. There's a documentary about the making of Social Network, which
I haven't seen it.
I normally don't watch like behind the scenes kind of things, but this was actually like really fascinating because David Fincher is notorious for making actors doing like 50 to 70 takes like for every single scene.
Yeah.
And they literally show like they were talking about, like the deposition or whatever it's called, where they're in the courtroom, or they're at the table talking about talking to the lawyers and all that stuff. Like,
yes.
Pretty sure they were in there for like weeks at a time.
Oh yeah.
Taking takes over and over and over and over again until it actually feels so natural that you almost forget that you're like in a, that you're on camera or whatever.
That you're performing. Yeah.
Exactly. So, but anyway, I got to ask you, how did you get involved in these, like Your Honor and what was it, the 12 Mighty Orphans?
Yeah,
right?
12 Mighty Orphans. June 18th, by the way.
Yes. Where do I see that?
It will be in theaters. It's June 11th. It will be showing in LA, Texas, and New York. New York specifically at the Tribeca Film Festival, either that day or a week later. I can't remember. Nice. So, and then June 18th will be worldwide. So it should be at your local theater if it didn't close down. Like 4 theaters closed down here in Huntsville, so it's only showing at the 2 left. But
yeah, count me in.
Yeah, awesome. But
all right. So like, what was kind of like your first like kind of like breakthrough into this industry, and where is your goal, and how are you going to get, what is your goal, and like how are you going to get there?
Man, if I knew. No, I definitely have like goals, like set. Like my ultimate goal is to be able to just act and just do that.
Yeah.
And be able to like support, my soon-to-be wife and hopefully have a family one day.
Yeah. So what are you doing right now besides acting?
Besides acting, I'm teaching acting at Divine Legacy Conservatory.
Nice. That's cool.
Which I do enjoy.
You get to be around acting and on another like really fulfilling level. So that's awesome.
And then I try to pump one of these podcasts out here and there. I'm trying to build that, which is like still a work in progress, as you can see. But no, the first thing I'm like, honestly, all my whole life I've always wanted to be an actor. And actually I was on the phone with my agent the other day because she was sending out a press release for like news stations here in Huntsville about like talking to me about the movie coming out. And she goes, oh, like one of the questions they'll ask you is like, why do you want to be an actor? Like, what do you think you'll say? Or how do you, or why do you like being an actor? And just the first thing I said was like, honestly, it's the only thing I'm good at.
Yeah.
I'm saying that kind of in a funny way, but at the same time, like it's really the only thing I'm good at. And thank God he's blessed me with some awesome roles. And but the first thing I ever did was this like real thing I did was this extra thing. Some people came down here to shoot a Lifetime movie at the Space and Rocket Center, and I was an extra in that. And I always like to say that my dad on the way there, he was like, I've been reading a lot about like being on a film set, and you sit there 8 hours a day and you maybe only shoot for an hour, so you might be bored.
Yeah.
And I got kind of scared. I was like, oh no, it's just the moment where I realized actually I don't like what I've always wanted to do. Yeah. And then I got there and the 8 hours just flew by, and I was like, I'm on a film set. There's nothing like being on a film set.
Cool, man. Yeah.
And then just over time, I did like I started taking classes after that. I did a bunch of like student films for like the college here, UAH. Just made videos on my own, worked, and then started doing stuff in Nashville like you guys, or music videos, or short films or student films. I think I did a Belmont one back in the day. I've never seen it, don't know if it's good. You rarely do see student film, but
that's they're always like too afraid to put them out there.
And then honestly, just through your honor, 12 Mighty Orphans, I just have really good agents that fight for me.
Dude, that's crazy. I mean,
both of those.
I gotta applaud you, man. That's I would consider that breaking through, because some people go their entire lives trying to get speaking roles in these kind of things, and that is so awesome. I mean,
thanks, man. I really do appreciate that.
I mean, you're really on like a great path. I mean, and we've worked with actors, and it's just like, and there are so many actors out there that want to make it.
Yes, yeah.
And they just never will. That's just the way. I mean, that's just the way life.
Is.
And sometimes you need a little help from God or whatever it is. A little break. That's cool. So like, what's like the audition process like for like Your Honor or whatever? Like, did your agent say, hey, there's a role for you in this new TV show with Bryan Cranston, which is also just like, I just finished Breaking Bad for the 6th time recently.
Oh, dude, it's so good, man. I remember actually where I was. I was in like my parents' room. I was doing laundry when this was 2 years ago when I auditioned. So I was still back at my parents at this point in time. And I was doing laundry and I was walking out and I got an email and I looked, it was from my agent. So I opened it up and I just saw the name Bryan Cranston. and it was like one of those, I had an option. I could either self-tape, just record it, or I could go in live. New Orleans is like a 6-hour and 30-minute drive from Huntsville. But I was like, I'm going in live, because if I don't, I'm not going to get this role. Go there, audition for it. I go up into the room. I'm there for maybe like less than 30 minutes. I do one take and then I leave. And I'm like, either that's really good, I only had to do one take, or really bad. And then I got a call back for it, went and did it and talked to the writer and the two producers, I believe, and the casting director.
Yeah.
And did it again for them in the room. And then I got an email, or no, I actually got a call about that one. And just freaked out. Because when I saw Bryan Cranston's name, I was like, I have to book this. Because Malcolm in the Middle was like my childhood. And then Breaking Bad was like my high school show.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, really like all these things that I've done are just like auditioning. Because I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like there's some actors where they are either in the right place at the right time, like a Matthew McConaughey who, bumped into Richard Linklater at a bar.
Oh yeah.
Or
for
Dazed and Confused. Yeah. Or you're born into it, like Ben Stiller. Not that I'm saying that like he's only an actor because he was born into it. But, it does help.
I think that connections are a huge part of it. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. And like this whole industry is about establishing relationships and being really good at your job so people like you.
Yeah. No, I mean, people want to work with, people that are good to work with.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially early on in your career, you can't be a diva or whatever. I mean, you gotta.
Yeah, and I was a diva on your set. I threw some punches at Austin.
Man, after that it's over, I was just like, man, Sampley, he's like he is a firecracker.
But there's something about that boy. I like him.
He's just gotta calm down on set. He gets so fired up. No,
in between action and cut, like I am awesome. And then outside of that, I am a nightmare to work with.
Yeah, like demanding like Twinkies. It was just like, and we didn't, he was getting pissed off, and no, it was great. I mean, that's super cool. Are there any things in the pipeline that you're working on right now that you're?
I'm doing. Let's see. So this movie comes out, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah.
I've been attached to this like war film for like almost 2 years now. Just it keeps getting pushed back because of COVID.
You say war film?
Yes. Shooting in Virginia, so I'm excited about that. And then I'm doing this animation thing, which I've never done before.
Nice.
Actually, people local here in Decatur, Alabama, I hooked up with, and I may be speaking too soon, but I talked to them on the phone today, and they said they're about to possibly sign a big deal because we did one pilot, and so hopefully that works out, because voice work is like so much fun. Like, because it's a little easier.
Sounds like such a blast. I would love to, because I do a lot of, I mean, I used to do voiceovers for videos way back in the day.
Yeah.
In a world where one man must drink enough water to stay hydrated.
Ooh, is that me?
He's
talking about me? Dude, that was spot on.
Thanks. No, I would love to be like a cartoon character for a Nickelodeon character. I mean, that would just be.
Dude, yeah, let's make it happen.
Yeah, let's make it happen.
Let's do it. I wanted to ask you, actually, since you just asked me that, what do you have brewing?
Yeah.
What do you and Austin got going on? And what do you have going on solo?
It's really just kind of a balance of, we have the business aspect of it, which is video production, making targeted video ads for products and stuff like that. And then we also have our aspect of renting out our podcast studio that we own and our main studio. And so, a big aspect of my day-to-day is just making the money, or, editing videos for other people and shooting videos and stuff like that, and making the money that you need to make to get a paycheck and survive throughout the year. But, and then the other half is we're just really trying to ramp up just a lot of, I don't know, just lots of content. I think we're trying to do some podcasts of our own.
I'd love to come on, by the way.
What's that?
I said I'd love to come on, by the way.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely.
I'll come to Nashville. I really will. Honestly. For you guys, absolutely.
Yeah, let's figure something out. Seriously. We're actually trying to get put together a TV pilot. This is kind of a recent thing. We're trying to put together like a TV pilot and I might as well just give you the concept.
Yes, please do.
Where we review different things in different cities, and then at the very end we write a song about it and perform it.
Dude, I'm already hooked.
Because I think one of our biggest skills is like we've been making songs about we've made so many music videos about just about any kind of subject. So I think we would go to a city like Nashville or whatever where we do a bunch of different experiences, and then we have like one night to make a song, and then we have to make a music video out of it. And the whole music video is just about our experience. So I would make a beat. Austin would rap about, eating hot chicken and having like serious stomach issues or something.
Dude, you guys got to come to Huntsville.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you could set us up with some of the hot spots in Huntsville, we'll make it happen. So
we have the Space and Rocket Center.
What is that?
We have the Space and Rocket Center.
The Space and Rocket Center?
Yeah, the Space and Rocket Center.
Freaking awesome.
And that is it. On like dead serious, like that is it.
I'm sure you got like one good restaurant that everybody goes to.
Let me get back to you on that. We have Waffle Houses, don't you guys?
Dude, that's perfect. No, if you're coming up to Nashville whenever, like, you should find a way to do some kind of video stuff. You can be on our podcast, and we'll have a good time.
Dude, I mean, just remember, I am a diva. You'll remember that very quickly.
I know. Don't worry, I'll get my chauffeurs and everything, and we'll hook you up, and we'll get you in the nicest.
My fur coat.
Yeah.
And the sweltering sun.
Yeah, it's like, this guy's crazy.
Have you seen Ma Rainey's Black Bottom? That's just me all the time. Get a diva.
No, we'll hook you up with the VIP treatment. So
yeah. Oh, and I wanted to say, by the way, because you mentioned it earlier, and I totally forgot to mention it when you asked me what I had brewing. That pilot I'm working on got pushed to July and August. So if people that donated and you haven't heard anything from me, that is why, because I'm getting married, and I don't know why I thought it was a good idea to try to cram that. I was like, I can cram it in.
Oh, I got you. So have you started filming and stuff with that?
We haven't started filming. I haven't fully cast. Script is written. It's been through like 6 drafts, and we'll probably go through 6 more by the time we get to July.
So is it like, I think I was under the impression that it was a reality show, or is it more of a scripted kind of?
It's a scripted, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Kind of like Arrested Development meets Ricky Gervais's Extras, like that. Yeah.
I love Arrested Development. I can't get enough of that.
Oh, dude, I could sit here and talk to you about that for like 2 more hours. I actually have an episode dedicated to that I did with my fiance a couple months back where we talked about it. Because
up till like the last season.
Yeah, we don't talk about it. We don't.
I can't watch the last season. I physically can't make myself watch it. But everything before that is like some of the best TV ever written. But if you ever need any roles for an extremely handsome person in your show,
call Austin.
Look no further. No.
No, dude. Honestly, like, I will like more than happy like sit and be like, how can I get Colin in this episode? But yeah, we're gonna shoot the pilot in July and August. But I'll keep you and everyone else updated on that, because it's really been a labor of love working on it. It's something I've had on my heart and mind for like such a long time that I'm like, why don't I just sit down and write it?
Yeah. So you wrote it yourself and nobody else, pretty much, just you?
Just me. Yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like I will work with people if it's like their idea, or if it's a combination of like mine and your idea.
Oh yeah.
If it's mine, I really have a hard time, honestly. Like me and my buddy once tried to write a feature film I had an idea for, and it's still a pretty good idea, but I had it up here and I was like, I just gotta sit and write this. And then like, so I'd write it, he'd read it and be like, oh, that's what you mean. Cause I can't verbalize, which is not good. Cause like, as someone who wants to get things made, you have to be able to like do pitches and stuff. So I'm working on that.
No, I understand. I mean, and I would agree. It's when you're so like, dedicated to like your own thought or your own idea or whatever, it's so hard to like, and it's the same with like making movies or videos or music.
Yeah.
Like it's so hard for me to like work with other people sometime when I'm just like, this is not, unless you just mesh perfectly. Like it's such,
Yeah, which is
it just
very
sounds,
rare when that happens. But when it does, it's like, this is Italian
yeah,
kiss.
yeah,
But a lot of the time, or chef kiss, whatever.
yeah.
No
No, but
offense
I
to
mean,
Italians.
this is pretty personal to your life. So, I mean, you should write it the way that it makes sense to you and your own truth. And so don't let anybody else, you know,
Dictate
affect
that.
you.
If they offered me a large sum of money, I'd be like, I do whatever you want. I don't care. No, I'm just.
Have you ever like considered like editors or anything like that? Or is that just,
Like for writing?
I don't even like, I'm new because I'm trying to get into, I mean, I really, really want to write like a movie at
Yeah.
some point. I just don't know where to start because it's really a large undertaking, but two, I feel like there's like a right way to do it to an extent, and I just want to do it right, I guess.
Dude, like, I actually during COVID, I was like, I'm gonna sit down and write this feature film. And I did, and I'm kind of sitting on that. I haven't really talked a lot about that just because that's like I'm saving it, if that makes any sense, for a
Yeah,
specific time.
when
Um,
it's the right time, and
but dude,
you got
honestly, like what I did anyway is like I love reading, so I just bought like a bunch of books on writing, read them all, and took notes, and then just like, and COVID kind of helped. Was like you had nothing else to do, so I was like, I'm just gonna sit and write this. And I went out because I knew if I like just did it on like one of those free writing softwares, I would
Mhm.
bail out. So I bought the like $300 final draft on my computer because I
Wow.
was like, if I spend this much money, I know I'm gonna sit down and finish it.
Yeah,
So dude, it's just like you just do it. But like reading those books really helped me because like understanding structure, uh, like since you're a big film guy, like reading this stuff, you would just be like, yes, I knew that, but like I've never read it before explained
yeah.
that way. You're
Just
like, oh,
have a
I know
note.
these
Yeah,
things.
I just need like an outline of.
Yeah.
I feel like there's like, I mean, at the same time that there is a right way to film a movie or write a movie or whatever, there's also, you can do whatever you want. I mean,
Yeah.
somebody like Quentin Tarantino is,
Yeah. I was about to say, yeah.
I mean, his scripts are so, I mean, he just completely flipped the script literally and figuratively. Like,
Boo. Boo.
yeah. But no, I mean, somebody like him is just like, I'm going to do my movie the way I want. And it ended up being like an incredibly inventive and new way of watching a movie. I mean, but I also think like when you also kind of have to, I don't know. Because I feel like whenever you watch a movie, there's always like a flow to it. And those, the ones that are really well made, like just have a good flow to it, I guess. I
Like
don't know what I'm trying to say. It's just,
something that I'm one of my favorite. I was gonna say actually before you started talking about Quentin Tarantino, I was gonna say Quentin Tarantino has this great quote where he said, "If you love movies and you're so passionate about films and you try to make one, it can't help but be really good because you love movies so much."
yeah,
And I was like, "That's awesome." And
yeah,
then going back to what you're saying about the flow, like essentially with screenplays, you take this like structure, this flow, and then you just kind of like you write it and you read your first draft and it's bad, but the fact that you know it's bad is good.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
you just keep writing it until that flow, you can't see it anymore, but you feel it, if
yeah.
that makes sense.
That makes sense.
And like so I would recommend Sid Field's screenplay, Robert McKee's story and dialogue books. Anatomy of a Story by John Truby is really good. And then Into the Woods by John York is also really good. And the
Yeah.
funny thing about all these books is that all of them are saying uh, Sid Field was like the first one to kind of like say, here's how you write a script. And then Robert McKee was the next one after that. And a lot of these guys are like, don't listen to that guy. He's saying, do it this way.
Yeah.
That's
He
wrong.
doesn't know what he's talking
And
about.
then
Yeah.
they'll say the same exact thing
Yeah.
except with just synonyms. And
Interesting.
like, so it's actually quite funny reading it because you can kind of see that there's like this
This back and forth. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, don't do that way. Do this. And you're like, that's the same thing, but you just chose different
Yeah,
words to explain it.
that's
So
hilarious.
like
Yeah,
I think once you realize that about those books, you kind of have a good time reading them, and it just kind of sinks in deeper because some of them do bring new things to the table,
yeah.
which is really cool. But I
No,
do.
yeah.
Well,
Send me a list of those books because I'm super interested and I'm just like trying to understand film theory as much as I can. And
yeah, man.
um, no, that's cool. I think it's the hardest thing about creating is just getting started because once I mean, it's really just
Yes.
having the motivation and the self motivation to like just do it. I mean, and I was just talking to Austin about this today. Is just like after because we've made so many videos over the years and like a lot of them hit and a lot of them miss, but it's like and it still feels like I'm still waiting for that breakthrough, but it's like
Yeah.
just keep making and enjoy the process. And like it doesn't matter if it gets big or whatever. It's all about just like enjoying it and having fun. And like if your motivation is to make money and I like making a career out of it is different, but like if you're just like I'm just trying to make a
Like get rich quick.
yeah, no, I mean if you're trying to make $1
Yeah.
million and you're just like I just want to be famous, like then that's not the right way to go about it, I think.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
And that could happen. It's just like you'll never be
yeah.
happy. It's
I mean,
like
you'll be more. I mean, that'll just be a side effect, and you'll just enjoy it even more if
yeah,
you're
yeah.
making a lot of money. But yeah,
Yeah, man.
that would be my piece of advice. Just do it because you love doing it, and
Dude,
take it.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Keep
Man,
just
like
keep creating.
yeah, having you on today has been such a pleasure.
Yeah.
Like we've been trying to do this for such a long time, and I feel like we're definitely gonna have to do it again.
Yes, let's do
uh,
it. If
in
you're
the
free
future.
tomorrow, let's do it again.
Dude, yes, finally, someone just do it every day, man. We won't get tired. Dude, I don't want to take up any more of your time, but real quick,
Yeah,
if you could
I-
throw out all the things people can follow you on. I know Austin and Colin on Facebook.
yeah.
Are you guys the same on Instagram? Austin and Colin on Instagram?
Yeah, so it's Facebook, Austin and Colin, Colin with 1 L, and Instagram is Austin and Colin _, and then pretty much I would just search Austin and Colin and wherever you can. Twitter, TikTok, that is under construction. So we'll save that for another time.
I don't mark my words. I don't think I'll ever get on TikTok.
I will see until those big time directors say you got to get on TikTok. That's when you're.
man, I hope not. But dude, again, it's been such a pleasure having you, man.
Hey, yeah, man. Thanks for having me on, and I'm seriously like you're doing so amazing, and it's been a blast watching your journey. Can't see what you're gonna do next, and you're gonna have your own star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame,
Dude.
eventually.
Yeah, dude. Everything you guys have done, it's been awesome. And you guys will one day have someone come up to you on the street and say, I love your stuff, and not threaten you.
That